Ready to work out my love pump. You didn't catch that? I said I'm ready to work out my love pump. Love lever.
What the answer is? What would make the UPP as
What
uncomfortable
names
as possible?
of my Johnson would make the UPP uncomfortable? That's your topic.
As his father.
As his father. You're not my dad. Oh yeah. I'll prove it.
Yeah.
Take a look at this Johnson. Look at my junk. Don't bring up another Dirty Mike and the Boys in the middle of the woods with a bunch of kids.
That was fantastic.
It was pure magic. Pure
Man,
magic.
That was forever ago.
It was like Halloween time.
It feels like forever.
Is it Halloween or Halloween?
Hey,
Is it
guys,
Halloween?
How does it all feel to be back in the same room?
It feels better than average.
I did just look at Instagram messages, Off the Cuff Show.
Okay.
On Instagram. If you're
I
looking
should follow
for,
that page.
you should follow that.
Off the Cuff
Probably a
Show
good idea.
Let's
Is
have
the
good
show
content.
is the show moniker on Instagram, the handle. That's another name for my junk. Just that's it. The handle.
The cow catcher. We're like, what?
The lady splitter. I don't know. So, I was checking our messages. We had like 9 unread. So I'm sorry, fans. Instagram is funny like that.
Suck.
But somebody said that they love the show and they always look forward to it, especially finding out what the UPP is going to mess up next.
I didn't mess anything up.
And I thought that we did pretty well making up in the absence of the UPP. I had minimal help from him, and I edited the first one. You actually did edit the second one together at least. But I did pretty good.
You did.
I was cringing.
You did amazing.
What was he cringing at? What?
At the camera angle that you had.
I wanted to show General Mantis.
It was
Yeah, but we wanted
horrific.
to. Well, no, but there was a
and
a
you were
method.
completely
I was
overexposed.
blocking.
I was blocking.
I was
you looked
blocking
like
the
you
camera with my hand
just-
all the time.
It's like when you are sitting inside playing.
I
video
watched it too, and I was
games all
like, "Man,
day,
this sucks."
And then
Our
you
video
walk-
sucked.
And then you walk outside, and you're like,
Hey, I agree,
so bright.
but
you have
I
to admit-
wanted to show him.
It wasn't on accident because we actually talked about it in the podcast.
Yeah.
"Oh, I didn't listen."
Oh,
Because the camera
doesn't
angle
care what
was
happens
too
when he's
distracting.
you're
The
worse
camera-
than my wife.
the camera.
You're literally
was too
on
distracting.
the show, and you don't listen to it.
I literally.
This is the
edited
worst
that.
podcast ever.
Yeah, he even edited the episode and he listened to none of it.
How do you edit it without listening? It doesn't even make any sense.
Because I trust you guys.
Oh,
To not mess up the photo.
oh, come on, get on you.
Man.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna make you look at my Johnson after all.
I'm gonna make you look at mine now.
You know what needs to hang behind you, Dad?
Which is where
Yes,
you got.
I do.
Which is
It
where you got
it needs to
your
say, "Look at
nickname
my
on Instagram.
Johnson."
Your name, He Big Daddy
Well,
D.
it is how it. You know what? I don't make these things up.
So if you want to follow Dave, he was bitching about pit bulls today. Or are you pro pit bull? You got a lot of spam comments. People wanted to
Dude, that was hilarious.
sponsor you for their pit bulls.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
I just hashtagged the word pit bull because I thought it was
Oh
funny.
my goodness, man! They
And
were
because
all
it was
over
part
you.
of the yeah, and they're like, "Oh, thanks." The best one was, "Hey, what a wonderful picture or something. What a wonderful pic." I'm like, "It's my face. It looks horrible."
I was literally just
and it's
talking.
literally a video.
I look like a young
it was,
Undertaker.
Yeah, it was so. I know it does.
Younger
true.
Undertaker.
but it looks just like it was obviously like total spam, but it looked ridiculous. But yet, no, I'm not anti pitbull. I'm anti people who call the police as
I
they're
need you to deal
flying
with this.
by on traffic
Looks friendly,
in
no.
traffic in a 55 mile an hour zone that's moving, calling about 2 at-large pit bulls that
At-large?
that quote
At
unquote
large.
appear friendly. How the hell do you know? You're an idiot. Why? Because they were wagging their tails because they weren't gnawing off somebody's nuts. What makes what
They weren't gnawing off my knocker.
yeah, yeah, big old Johnson. Like, well, seriously, what would possess you to go? Yeah, they appear. I think they're probably friendly. They look friendly. Who does that? You're a moron, and I hate you. Don't ever call again.
Don't
I
ever call
care.
the police
I don't
again.
care what it's for. Don't ever call.
Well, you survived Vegas. You brought back a little bit of sickness.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, God, I heard about all the strip shows you went to, which seems a little
bit the adult
I stayed
away.
That's
awards.
That is like all in its own separate area.
AVW,
at the Hard Rock Cafe.
You went to the awards?
No. And everybody who has been, like, people talk about horror stories and how nobody wants to sit anywhere.
Did you say horror or horror stories?
He said
nobody wants to sit at the adult film awards?
Anywhere at the Hard Rock while that's going on, because
why?
There's just a bunch of
naked,
disgusting people, and they say that there must be a lot of makeup involved in porn, because
you it
is not something that you
catch
should.
herpes.
I've seen that on Chive.
You just open the door at Hard Rock and you have herpes?
Yes.
I would not. You get the clap from playing
Chive,
blackjack.
They show that, like, they show like pictures of like the before and after of like porn stars, you know, and it's
before and after what?
It's like before makeup and after makeup.
Oh gosh.
And it's at times alarming. So
there's a lot. That's alarming.
Well, let me tell you this. Did I ever tell you guys when I took Mike, my sister and I went to Vegas, and my sister, she paid for us to go to a burlesque show. It's like the topless thing, you know, show.
Yeah.
Dude, let me tell you this. You're gonna love this story. This is so great. This is shows you how old I am. So she even like got us like close seats to this thing. So stop it.
Just boob sweat hitting you.
Jesus. Good Lord, man. You've been no. So we go to this thing, and immediately it's actually way better than I thought it was going to be. It's no, you're not understanding what I'm saying. So
I'm understanding exactly.
Hear me out. Hear me out. So the majority of the show is one lady there that is not. She never gets naked or anything like that, and she's like. It's like a variety, almost like she can sing. She's extremely fun. She like does like stand up. There's another guy there.
She's like Bob Barker for nude people.
She's not nude though.
She's not.
No, not at all. And there's a dude who's a stand-up comedian,
and he's completely naked.
And he's completely naked, but only from the waist down. So
just wearing like a suit.
Wait, seriously though? Like he has a tuxedo top and
no. He's completely dressed the whole time, and so like they're doing like numbers and having fun, so like. And they're like interacting with the audience, and it's actually really funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is way better than I thought. And then the girls come out, like they would like do numbers in between them singing or do whatever. And
hello, my darling. Hello, my baby.
Let me tell you this. This is how I know I'm so way too old for this stuff. So these ladies come out, and they're topless, but they have their thongs on or whatever you want to call it. And they're dancing like in front of you and on a stage, and like they're like one time they like come down really hard on their knee, and the first thing I'm going is like, ladies, just so you know, at some point it's going to come back and bite you. Your knees are going to lose all the cartilage. That's going to be horrible for you. And then
how concerning, how kind of you to be so concerned.
And I'm telling you,
excuse me, miss.
This one girl's dancing like, and she's
so
like,
somebody's got to say something.
Right
I've got to tell them something. They need to know. They're
ready to go to the sound.
But that's my problem. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like getting nervous for these girls because they're dancing, and they're dancing in high heels, and I feel like they're going to hurt themselves. And this girl is on like dancing by herself at one point, and she's on like this couch, and she like steps on the couch. She's got her high heels on, and I'm thinking, how is she doing this? And then she like the couch does something weird, and she comes off the thing. I'm like, this is where it ends for her. Like her career is going to end here. Like I was so nerve-wracked the whole time. I was so concerned about their safety and health that I found myself not enjoying the show for that part of it. And this one girl, you know how like they go up on these big long ribbons and they tie themselves up, like they like do all the gymnastics down the thing, you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Because you sound like you don't have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay.
They did it
on America's Got Talent. Yeah.
That kind of thing, yeah. This girl did that, and she comes down, and she goes, boom, and like she's like...
She was imitating Chewbacca?
No, she's flying down. Mike, you know what? No, you know what? I'm done.
Why do they all have to be topless?
I'm done. I have no idea. I guess it's a burlesque. It's a burlesque show. That's how they do it, I guess. But this girl came down, and she did that. It's around her waist, and she's like doing the flips down, and she like right there, like so close to the ground. It scared the shit out of me. I swear to God, I was so I am so old.
Dave walks out of there sweating.
I practically did. I was like, you know what? This is just too much for me. My heart can't handle this. And it wasn't because there were nude boobies around me. It was because I was concerned for their safety and health. So I'm just too old for that stuff, man.
Yeah.
God. See, and you're looking at me. You're like you want to judge me, but you can't. You can't judge me. You can't judge me.
I need whiskey, though.
No, you need a lot more than that, buddy. You need a lot more than that.
Behind you on the show.
I need whiskey and I need Jesus. He put it all the way over there. I'm going to lose my headphones.
Your chair has wheels on it. Your headphones never had to come off.
I swear, this guy doesn't even want to enjoy himself today. He just wants to. Now he just wants to get down to business.
You seem cranky, man.
I know he
I'm
does.
not cranky. I thought it was a funny story.
And you're not.
I started talking about my penis right at the beginning.
But that's not funny. That's just scary. Yeah, but it's
Nobody
a good story, right?
Thing.
It's a good story because it's. I feel so uncomfortable. That's how I know I'm not like whatever that age you're supposed to enjoy.
Stereotypically, dudes would be very excited to go watch that.
Yeah,
and you were just
that's cool.
And you were just worried the whole time.
I was worried.
That's a funny story.
I can't help it. And he's just judged me like I'm some kind of like horrible sinner. Like you know what? Stop it, Jesus man. You take your Bible thumping. You take it down south. All right. You take it to your Bible Belt.
We should get a banner behind him that says "Stop it, Jesus man."
Stop it, Jesus man.
Stop it, Jesus man.
I guess I could be called worse things.
It's really not bad. I was called Goody Two Shoe Christian Boy in high school. So
that's kind of like a lame way to make fun of somebody, though.
Yeah, you can do. It's like you could do way better.
You could do way better.
Yeah.
When I got called. My nickname. One of my nicknames was Barry
Zippy?
Sanders.
What?
I never told you this.
No.
So
should I act unamused like he did with mine?
Yes, you should. So
I'm not going to do it.
Who was the other guy? Because I had two nicknames. One was Barry Sanders. The other one was he was a televangelist. Baker. Jim Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim and Tammy Faye.
Jim Baker was my other nickname. So Jim Baker was because my dad was a pastor.
Of course.
And so
of course.
I was the Christian kid or whatever.
But why Barry Sanders?
So
I know it wasn't because of your running back abilities.
That was my football prowess. Thank you very much. No one could stop me.
Football prowess. I've seen pictures of you. You definitely could not play football.
What do pictures have to do with the ability to play football? So I came from a very small middle school, private Christian middle school, right? Very small. So now I had moved around a lot in elementary school and had been public schools, private schools, whatever else. But, elementary is kind of elementary, right? You got your class size. You're not moving around from class to class. So the size of the school was relatively, irrelevant.
Yeah.
So in middle school, when you did do the class changes and stuff like that, it's still a very small school. And my parents decided to move me into the public school, which comparatively seemed... It was like moving from,
a whole new world.
To New York City from the middle of Idaho or something like that. I don't know.
The middle.
It's quite a comparison.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think.
I went from farming taters to going
downtown New York City.
From potatoes to penthouses.
Little Miss Liberty.
Exactly. So I was very shy. Okay. I didn't talk much.
That should be a movie.
Very much out of my element. And
it's like a Hallmark
I
movie.
had a Barry Sanders number jersey. It wasn't even a real Barry Sanders jersey. It was just something you would buy from like
the poor man's.
It just had the number 20 on
Meyer
it.
Thrifty Acres.
Just like a 3/4 sleeve number 20 shirt. That's it, right? And I would get spoken to, but I didn't really say much back because I was so shy and nervous about talking to all these people. So they didn't know my name. So they just started calling me Barry because I was wearing a number 20 jersey for gym class or whatever.
Oh my God!
There was people in my
such a nerd.
my junior year of high school that literally still thought my name was Barry. I think until I actually kind of came out of my shell and started talking to people.
Did you have the heart to tell them that my name's really not
No,
Barry?
no, I just went.
I didn't think so.
Imagine Barry the cop. That would have never gotten anywhere.
It would have gone nowhere.
That story sucked because it didn't have boobies in it.
There was boobies. I just wouldn't look at them because my name was Barry.
You're
too shy.
You're like, but they were mine. They were my boobies.
That's why you couldn't play football as man boobs.
I was afraid of my boobies.
I had a different kind of
Threw
padding.
him off balance.
All right. So
let's get down.
Dude.
Get down to brass tacks.
How serious was I when I was texting you about watching this documentary last night?
I
heard.
Well, let me play it back. Let me see what we have here.
Did I have audio? Did I send you?
No, thank God. I wouldn't have listened to it anyway. I can't even read what we wrote or texted today.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, we can. We can talk about blackface.
No. Blackface.
I don't have a job to lose.
I should probably cut that out.
Literally from nowhere.
I was joking.
Literally from nowhere. This documentary is insane. All capitals. There is no less.
No context.
No less.
I didn't even tell you what documentary.
Nothing.
Okay.
There is no less than 6 exclamation points on this thing. No less. I want to go kill these parents right now. It was right, period, now, period.
That moment when one of your best friends is texting you, telling you they want to kill these parents, somebody's parents.
And I'm like, okay. So my response was,
which is a completely logical response.
Well, my response was, what documentary? Because, let's start at the beginning, right? That's the best way to start an argument, or to start at the base of the issue. And he said, Abducted in Plain Sight. Dude. and then there's a separate one, This Family, and I'm like, and you're like, watch it. I'm like, okay, LOL, and you're like, all capitals right now, and I'm like, dang, you're like, LOL. I'm like, I'm going to bed. You're like, fine, and then you have cry faces, two teary faces. I'm like, so. I asked you about the podcast. I pulled it out, blah blah blah. We wanted to go over that. So this is about as extensive as we get with our show prep here.
You want to know my conversation with my dad?
Yes, please.
Which conversation?
On your birthday.
Okay.
So yesterday.
I did ours too. I texted you too. I got to do that one.
Oh yeah, you got to read our birthday conversation.
8:37 a.m. I texted him, "Happy birthday, Padre." He responds, "Gracias." And then later that night at 10:39 p.m. You in for podcast tomorrow night, like 7:30? Yeah, that's it. The entire conversation.
Oh my God. So my thing to you was, the only thing I hit you up at 3:21 yesterday. I should pretend like I don't recognize your birthday. Your response, "Go ahead, bitch." In my response, I'm better than that. I'm like an angel that transcends social norms, giving gifts of birthday cheer. And your response, or a grim reaper come to remind me of my mortality and impending doom. Which I responded, there's a fine line, Michael, that's for sure. And that was at 3:20. At 5:07, I respond, I can't take this friction between us any longer. Happy birthday.
Did I respond?
You just LOL. You should have been like, yeah. That would have been even better.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
All right, so my goodness, dude. Yeah, I watched this documentary.
Give us a little lowdown. What are we talking about here?
It's called Abducted in Plain Sight.
Okay.
So here's the deal.
It's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix. It's not a Netflix documentary.
Okay.
It was done a couple years ago, and then it just got picked up by Netflix and put on there. So,
and it's about boobies.
You wish.
Dang it. Now, I don't wish. I would have a heart attack. I have a problem with that stuff.
It is about boobies, but only in ways that would enrage you, not concern you.
If it was a documentary about boobies, I would just be concerned that they haven't been screened for breast cancer. That would be my issue. That would be my issue. I can't even be happy about
that. That was your code word for when you went to the strip club.
I need to call the producers.
You just tell the diversity team when you're going to go to the strip club, like, what are you doing? I'm just going to check on the safety of the ladies.
Safety of the ladies.
That's what he says. That's when
the world's
the safety of the ladies.
And Joyce would probably be like, all right, whatever.
Hey, you guys, I'm here to check and make sure that there's no harm done to the talent. I don't need to pay the cover, right? I just need to go in and...
The talent. You call it the talent. But you know what? Honestly, those ladies were very talented, okay? They all could dance.
Dave puts on some like latex
It was very interesting. And if anybody's interested, I'm sure I could get the show name in case you go to Vegas. You would enjoy it immensely. Sorry. Too bad. I'm not getting advertising money for it, but maybe I should.
But maybe you should.
Yeah.
We don't have a sponsor yet, but
I'm not. And I'm
burlesque show in Vegas. If you're
right.
in the market, we are looking actively. So, Abducted in Plain Sight.
Okay.
Which sounds
ominous.
Pretty much
Scary.
Exactly what it is.
Okay. Right.
You would think, oh, that's like an exaggeration. Nope, that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
So, you have not watched this.
Right. Correct.
So I figured now would be a great opportunity since I have fresh off of
I don't want to watch it because I feel like I'm going to just be mad.
You're going to be mad right here and right now. So just be mad here in a safe place.
I've read some of it. And I was like, it was late at night and I started reading about it. I'm like, this pissed me off.
Really? So before we get into that, I got to tell you that my work wife, Greg, whom of which I love very much.
I love you too, Greg. One day.
Well,
maybe.
Well, you would because
he doesn't like me. Does he complain about me?
Because he actually listens to our podcast.
Does he complain about me?
No, Mike. No, but he was like, he goes, man, I think he even texted me like, dude, I'm listening to the podcast you guys did about the man, like what you should do instead. You know what I mean? The 10 skills a man doesn't need any longer. Yeah. And that was, I think, 2 weeks ago. And he goes, it's fucking pissing me off, man. It's pissing me off. I go, how do you think we felt? I've never been, like, I think that's the most F-bombs we've ever
People commented that, like, holy cow, they finally unleashed, and they were just swearing left and right. Like, we were like,
yeah, I know.
said, like, I just wanted to rage. And I wanted to knock everything over and be a man.
And we had not, it's not like we were drinking and, like getting crazy. I don't even think I was drinking at all.
No, you had 3 glasses of water lined up.
I did too, because my voice has been crazy like this weather. But, yeah. And I didn't even get through all my water. So, but yeah, so like it was.
That's an obsolete man skill. Being ready to have water ready.
Well, you're just gonna.
You should change it with learning to be
quench your thirst.
A Brita filterer.
Oh my god,
that's what you should.
But they weren't even that good, Mike. They weren't even actual replacements for. You know what I mean? Like,
right? No.
God. Fuck.
Well, okay. you're gonna feel that way.
Let's do it.
Because the fans seem to love it when we rage, so we're gonna rage.
I'm gonna rage against the machine.
So what I'm gonna try my best based on.
What I'm just saying.
Do you remember when Will Ferrell did that at the American Music Awards? I think it was, or was it the MTV Awards, where he climbed up the scaffolding? It was all staged, and he was like, "Look at me, I'm raging," and he was shirtless. You got to pull it up.
That sounds about Will Ferrell, what he would do. But
Music Awards, Rage Against the Machine. We got to see. We got to see this. This is what I love about the show, guys. We can just kick back and we're the bosses here. You know, we can do something like this. Why is that Indian man singing that song?
I don't know.
Why wouldn't he be?
YouTube.
Oh, I just saw Daniels.
Limp Bizkit versus Rage Against the Machine. That's all there is.
No, it's up there.
Where?
Rage Against the Machine, Testify, Music Awards 2000.
Is that it?
See if Will Ferrell's in there.
Are you?
Well, don't get us copyrighted.
I'll just sing over
it. Perfect.
They'll never be able to catch it.
I don't think there's anything.
Although technically,
dude,
if you were to do that with U2 or Bono and just like Shazam my voice, it would be like the actual recording, so it would probably pull up.
Are you sure you didn't just have like?
I feel like he's been drinking already.
No,
he just had a dream about this. And he's like, dude, it really happened.
It's a thing. For real. Will Ferrell climbs scaffolding.
Well, then why didn't it pop right up immediately?
I don't know.
If not sooner. 10 insane scaffolding.
Whatever. They took it down because Will Ferrell would sue them. I don't know. It's a real thing.
Was he drunk or
somebody
something?
defend me. No, it was all staged, but it was funny.
I don't know what to tell you.
Climbs thing. Will Ferrell. He's searching. Will Ferrell
apparently climbs a lot of
shit.
It's
not just a climber, but excels at cycling.
Whatever.
Long distance and ultra running.
Okay,
ice climbing, skiing, and fly.
So we're gonna rage against the machine.
So you lied.
That's my point.
This.
So I'm completely. I might have been tripping acid or something like that. And
Were you tripping balls, bro?
Tripping balls, bro. Okay. So what I'm gonna try to do? I watched this documentary last night. I saved I was tired. I actually fell asleep on the couch.
During it?
No, before it.
Okay.
So then I started watching it, and I was like, man, I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. And I watched the last 20 minutes this morning.
Do that to yourself.
Yeah, that's weird.
What?
Nah, I just feel like it's
the
weird.
The couch is like the worst place to fall asleep.
Well, I had a pillow propped up and stuff like that.
No, you always feel so disoriented when you wake up off of a couch.
It's weird.
And then your first instinct after you woke up was, I need to watch a documentary.
Right. Well, the first thing that popped up was when he.
I love documentaries.
Actually, that happened twice.
You just said this the other day. You know, Dad's idea of a day off, like a perfect day off.
I said
would be
his entire perfect day off would be.
What's calming, or what was the
just
the greatest,
the most peaceful moment of your entire life?
It's a question.
I remember mine.
Like, there's this book that Anna got. It was like just 3,000 questions, like conversation starter.
3,000.
How come we haven't been using this thing for some of our content?
We just got
listen.
it.
All right, listen.
Good. I'm glad.
Listen
we
to me.
will use it.
Great.
Maybe I will.
Before we get into your whole documentary spiel, we all need to talk about our most peaceful moments, like in our entire life, what you can look back to and recall as the most blissful and peaceful time of your life, like
time or moment,
moment or time.
Period.
Either one. Yes.
An epic.
So, listen.
I don't know what to say about this.
When he's the most calm, or he takes a day off, or is just chilling, every single time, this is his routine. He wakes up, has 2 bowls of cereal, and then watches documentaries all day. And instead of regular meals, he'll have a giant beer glass full of chocolate, ice cream, and peanut butter with a long spoon.
Lucky.
And he will just sit there and watch documentaries until like 2 a.m. while eating ice cream.
Sounds like a pretty damn good day. I haven't had a day like that in a long time.
Thank you. I haven't done that in forever, but yeah.
Man.
He's done it like in the past month.
That's not true.
Well, time is relative to what, his perception.
I'll recall my most blissful moment, nostalgic moment, summer morning when we lived at one of our old houses that's in the neighborhood that we're in now. And I woke up, made myself some waffles, and I poured a glass of milk, and I played video games on the computer. And that's just a moment where I look back and I'm like, wow, that was a great day.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like I got put on the spot here because...
Come on, Dave.
You did. You literally put us on the spot.
Yeah, no, I seriously, I can't even... What does this tell you about me? I can't.
What do you like to do to relax? Hunt?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. That's not, I don't know. Now I'm scared. I really don't know what to say. I feel awkward.
Caught with your Johnson hanging out.
I seriously...
Junk exposed.
I feel like I have to reevaluate parts of my life now because I couldn't just come up with something like you guys did.
Well,
that was so simple.
I didn't come up with anything real. He came up with that for me.
But you're not arguing against it. You're like, that's pretty nice. That's pretty
I'm just
peaceful.
going with it. I couldn't think of it. That's why he filled in for me the other night. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, but is that a peaceful moment for you? Is that
no? That's how I enjoyed relaxing. But if you were trying to think of like literally the time in your life where you felt most at peace,
can I tell you a time that I remember that I this is gonna make me seem so. I'm an idiot. I just realized you guys are like bringing the complete idiot out in me. I was
peel back. That's what the show's about. We're peeling back layers.
Apparently, I was up. It was about boobies. No, it was. I was up north, and this was for some reason it's just a memorable, relaxing time. Not like so at peace and all that, but it was just a really nice time. I was up north. We were watching When Harry Met Sally, eating chocolate ice cream. Me and Joyce, just us two. And we just watched that movie, and it was just like for some reason it was like kind of like a trip back, but the door wall's right there, so you can see outside. It was just really nice.
See, that's your moment.
It was really nice. It's like I still can remember how nice that felt. You know what I mean? I know. I told you, man. I got problems.
You feel me judging you right now with my eyes?
Why?
I'm judging you more than the booby story right now.
Why is that a problem?
You're like, tell the booby story again, Dave.
Why is that a problem?
I want to hear more about boobs now.
I know. Like I can't enjoy that.
I don't think that's a problem.
Right? It's nice. It was nice.
It was nice.
French silk ice cream. It was delicious.
We were eating French silk ice cream.
What do I say?
Okay, let's move on to this horror.
When Harry Met Sally.
It's a good movie.
All I remember is faking an orgasm from that movie or whatever. But is that it? Is that where Billy Crystal?
If that's all you got out of it, Mike, well then yes.
It came out when I was a little kid, dude. I don't remember. My parents probably wouldn't let me watch it.
Jeez, how old are
you? You hear about my middle school experience? I was very underexposed, okay?
That's a good point.
All right. So, Abducted in Plain Sight follows the story of, I'm going to get their names right, the Brobergs. Okay? The Brobergs.
How do you spell that? It's like B-R-O-U-G.
B-R-O, Bergs. B-E-R-G-S.
Okay.
Brobergs.
Sorry, I'm just curious.
Okay. And there's two families, Brobergs and Berchtold.
Okay.
Or Birchtold. I'm not sure exactly the correct pronunciation. But we're going to call him B. Okay. Because that's what the family called him.
Why? Who's him?
Okay. Family friend. They live in, I want to say, Iowa. Pocatello. Yeah, Iowa. Middle of Iowa. Whatever.
Okay.
So,
I legit 110% made that up.
No, it was Idaho.
Dang it.
It was Idaho. It was Idaho.
That made it all worthwhile, though.
Okay. Now, yes.
It was Iowa.
Idaho. I'm looking at it right now. Idaho.
Okay, Mike.
So, I don't know. They didn't really focus on this, but I think in some sense it's pertinent, or I think it is. They were part of the Mormon faith out there.
Okay. Is that a big area?
Well, Utah is maybe bleeding into Idaho. I don't know.
LDS. Probably the area. Okay.
Church of Latter-day Saints, they're part of it. And the reason I say that it kind of shades this is you'll see like this concept of a man and multiple women, I guess. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know if that's why this family was so like comfortable with this guy and in his ways or not. It may or may not have anything to do with
there
the
might
story.
be a cultural thing happening that maybe it's not it's new to us, but maybe not to whatever
they
was
don't
happening
explore
there.
this in the documentary at all. If I had a chance to talk to the family, I would probably ask them this: is that why you were so close to this guy in the first place, right?
And what's his name?
Robert.
Rob. Okay.
Robert Berchtold, but they called him B. That was like an affectionate term. Like,
okay, that's even better then. I can remember that.
And the Brobergs called him, the kids called him Dad as well.
That's strange, but okay.
It is strange. So Dad or B. But most of the time, even in the documentary,
it would make more sense if they called him like Uncle B or something, right?
Yeah, but B. Everybody kind of like affectionately called him B.
Okay.
So the kid out of the, I think it was 3 daughters that were in the Broberg family, he focuses on the oldest, whose name was Jan.
And how old is she?
When he first starts hanging around them,
so far this is just a person, not an actual family member, just not necessarily neighbor, but a family friend.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know the age that she was when he first started hanging, but under 12.
Jan, under 12 at the time.
But there
was also 2 other
couple other sisters, yes.
Okay.
So, the Brobergs and Berchtolds, I'm going to read some of this word for word on this timeline thing to kind of set the stage.
Sure.
They were close friends, spent countless hours and days together. The Broberg children, all girls, eventually came to call Berchtold Dad and also B. Unbeknownst to them, he was simply getting close to them in order to take Jan as his own. He believed that they were destined to be together and essentially wouldn't take no for an answer. So,
do we have an age for B? Roughly at the time.
30s, 40s, grown man.
Okay.
It doesn't say his age in
Still
here.
incredibly young.
Yes, incredibly
young. Thank you.
So during the first few years together, it says this: Berchtold gained the trust of every member of the Broberg family. He made advances at Marianne, the wife, and Bob Broberg, the dad.
Made advances at both of them.
Yes. So
Okay.
the first WTF moment of the show comes when the dad, the Broberg dad, the father of Jan, the girl he's sort of like fixated on, okay?
Bob,
is talking about this experience and getting close, B, his friend, family friend, over all the time, him and his wife, blah, blah, blah.
So B had a wife, and
B had a wife.
They probably about the same age, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe a little. Maybe Bob was probably a little younger if he had a 12-year-old, but
yeah. So they're
12,
hanging out together, and he says he's in a car one day and looks over, and B just has a raging boner, and he's like, "Oh, geez, like what's the deal?" And he's like, "Well, if I don't take care of this, I can, I'm kind of attracted to kids, and so the way that to solve that is if you would help me take care of this, then I wouldn't have the problem anymore." So the dad in the documentary, and I'm kind of like taking this documentary in at first, kind of like okay.
You're trying, so you're not realize that you're about to get hit right square in the face.
And the dad is sitting in this chair. Now the dad in this moment is like, this was recorded and put out in 2017, so he's old, recounting the story.
Yeah.
And he's like, so, I did it. I reached over and I took care of it for him. And I just sat up and I looked at Sherry and I was like, literally, what in the actual fuck?
Are you kidding me?
Just happened.
But
I'm like, did he say what I think he just said?
That just spells kind of like how everything else is going to spill out of this, right?
So now I'm in. Now I'm like, what?
I think it's funny because you're all in, and I'd be like, I'm done with this. This is stupid.
Me too.
Well, I'm like, not because
if
because
Brooke and I were watching that, I'd be like,
just
I'm done. I'm done with this.
Not because there's a homosexual moment, but because it's so ignorant. This guy Bob is so fucking ignorant that I'd be like, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Well,
I don't even want
to,
because then I would be so scared. I wouldn't want to hear about these kids.
I was looking at it, a lot of people were like, I couldn't even watch it. I stopped.
Really?
It was that
so
bad.
Anyway, sorry. We've got now.
So
I have to. We got to do this. I get it. I'm scared.
This is going on, and this isn't a one-time thing. So now him getting B off.
Hey, Bob, saw another kid again.
To control his desires.
Let's get in the car and go for a drive.
Okay, to control his desires. This is happening, and let's just.
He calls it the B line.
So, wow, yeah. So, and there's flirting going on with
the wife,
Broberg's wife as well, which is sort of like accepted.
What's going on with B's wife?
She's just sort of there.
Okay,
she never really plays much of a role,
even in the documentary.
I don't even think I ever seen her.
Okay.
And again, if I missed her, then I missed her.
Okay.
And if I get, guys, if you're listening to this and I get any details wrong, I apologize.
Yeah, he's not trying to
just see it once.
He's
I'm
not trying to
distort this,
sensationalize this,
because I might have the exact details of what he said he was attracted to as to why Broberg started jerking this guy off or whatever else. I don't know. Oh, and spoiler alerts. So eventually, B.
You may want to put the explicit E on this one.
Goes off on to get therapy, and he comes back and he says to the Brobergs that he went to therapy. And
I just wonder how that came to be. Like,
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I went to therapy.
Yeah, was Bob like, hey, dude, my hand's getting tired. Like, I feel like I'm doing.
How
this
long are we gonna do this before you get some help?
Way longer than I should. Like. Now it's taking longer. Like, when are you going to do? Like, I can't keep doing this.
Exactly. So he comes back from therapy and says that his therapist said that he confesses to Bob that when he was 4, that when B was 4, he slept with one of his aunts, and it messed him up, right? So he says that his therapist now says the best way for him to deal with this attraction that he has is for him to sleep with Jan at night, to lay next to her. So Bob, this is the second moment where I almost wanted to find Bob and throw him through a plate glass window, was this. He lets him do it. Usually 4 to 6 nights a week. B stays over at the Brobergs and sleeps in bed with Jan.
12-year-old Jan.
Under 12.
Under 12.
Yes.
Okay.
4 to 6 nights a week.
Okay. Now, at this point in the documentary, are we switching to Jan? And what, like
Jan
during
takes
this
on? Yes.
I'm not saying like reveal anything. I'm just saying like at this point in the documentary, is she talking about like and he used to do that and there
she is in the documentary, and she kind of talks about how she would be groggy because he was giving her vitamins. They were sleeping pills. Yeah. Okay, so he's basically knocking Jan out, and it turns out he's molesting her at night in the same house where her parents are, because they let this man that the dad is already sexually pleasing sleep in bed with his daughter. So what really ticks me off is anybody, including Jan at the end of the documentary, dude, still justifying her parents, still saying they were just deceived by this master manipulator. No, he was a masturbator, and your dad helped him.
Wait, how long were you waiting to just throw that out there?
This came to me right now.
Well done.
Pun intended.
Well done.
So this is the beginning. This is just setting it up. And you're just like, okay, what? And you just, what?
What?
Now you know why I'm texting you.
What? Yeah. Now I know.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Yeah, I heard about all this.
Period.
Already.
Now.
Wow.
Period. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Exclamation point, period. Question mark.
6, no less than 6. Okay.
So throughout the documentary, these parents are acting surprised at everything that's going to unfold, but this is the groundwork that's already been laid. You're literally having man sex with the guy. You're believing that he needs to lay in bed with your daughter, who's like 9 or 10 or whatever she was,
that pisses me off
and sleep in the same bed as your kid. And you think, and literally the dad in the documentary is like, man, I should have seen all the red flags. Okay, no, you are the red flag. You tard.
Oh my
you
gosh.
are the red flag. This is you're literally sitting in cars jacking this guy off, and then say it's okay to lay in bed with your daughter while you're not in there. Are you out of your... You didn't miss the red flags. You, sir, are the red flag.
Let's be honest here as we kind of go back a little bit. So Bob, let's think about Bob here, right? Obviously, there's something very wrong with Bob.
He lacks a bullet in the middle of his skull.
Bob is worse in many regards than the guy who was than B.
Yeah.
And obviously that's not, I mean, but there's obviously an element of, I don't believe that Bob gave B a hand job simply because he thought he was helping the children.
No, he's a raging bisexual.
Yeah, so the guy
or a homo that's covering.
Yeah,
you know?
So the guy obviously has other things happening in his life.
Yeah, boners around a dude. That's what's happening.
It's just slapping boners everywhere. But
yeah, they're playing tummy sticks.
Slapping Johnsons.
What'd you call it?
Tummy sticks.
Tummy sticks. So, what about the wife?
You want to play swords?
What was happening with Bob's wife? Did they interview her during this?
Yes.
Okay.
She also had been flirtatious. It gets more demented just along the way, but yes, she had also been, enamored with this guy on some level.
Is he like, I don't know, like, did he write a book that I can learn some stuff from?
The mom wrote a book.
Like, is that him right there?
Yes, that's him, and that's Jan.
Oh my gosh,
that picture makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it should. It should make anybody uncomfortable.
It does. Where's his life vest? Wait, what?
We're going to hell. Hell party of
Okay.
3. Okay.
So, hey, I didn't. What? Yeah, you didn't. You brought the picture up.
Yeah, you brought.
You're
the
in with
picture.
this. You're in.
You're fully in.
You're complicit, just like Bob.
You're all in,
just
buddy.
like Bob Broberg was complicit.
Yeah.
You are complicit.
Do not compare
You
me to
are-
Bob Broberger. You're going to have a very bad night.
Hey, back off.
Oh, you're a tough guy.
Yeah, back off, B. Back off. Put your life vest on here.
Calm down, B.
He's like,
All
I'm
right.
not B.
I'm not B.
Okay, so let's
All right.
keep getting into this. This is just.
So this is the dynamic.
You can't make it up. This is just.
You
so far,
just-
it's kind of mind-boggling. I can't imagine watching the actual documentary. They probably did a very good job and well put together, and it's probably made it even more like demented as you had to try to.
I'll tell you, what they did was they took a film and they dressed people up like it was the 70s because that's the time frame.
Oh, okay,
This
so
is
they
like
kind of
mid
went
70s.
through.
So literally,
It
they
probably
had
intermixed with
actors
little-
recreating it like it was old. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if it was
Whatever that 35 millimeter
projector type
stuff,
film.
Yeah.
You know, and
film,
that was
yeah.
the recreation.
What's that?
I said just film.
Just film.
Yeah, whatever.
You call it whatever you want.
Anyway,
This guy.
like
B.
he knows,
A
like
lot
he
of
knows
movies
video
are
work.
B.
a lot of movies are still shot on film.
Well, it was.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
It just
had
looked like
a
a
lot of
home
scenes.
video from the 70s.
Right.
Where
Okay.
it wasn't like home video on VHS. It was like the frames. I don't know.
I know what you're
Right.
talking about.
Either way.
So let's get into. I want to.
So this is the dynamic. The Brobergs and Berchtolds, they
Can you tell me a little bit more about? Sorry, Bob's wife. Now,
Marianne, I think her name
have
is.
they been getting into like kind of that where she was enamored by him? Now, if I'm jumping, then that's fine. You can back me up. But did she start doing stuff with B also then?
I don't think it. Not yet.
Okay. So,
Other than just, I think flirtatious type.
okay.
She loves B. You know, he's part of the family.
Okay.
Kind of a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And all of the sisters are like, yeah, we had a good upbringing. We were happy. Everybody loved B. No one seemed to think it was abnormal that a friend grown man was sleeping in a bed with Jan.
Right, and that he was being
That's the
jerked
first-
off by their father.
Correct.
That's the first.
None of that's weird.
Okay.
That is going to explain a lot about what happens.
What happens
with
next.
the rest
Okay,
of this.
I'm ready. Let's do it. Lay it on me, buddy.
Okay. So it comes to a point. Jan's 12, and we're gonna find out why he waits until she's 12 for this. But he asks to go horseback riding with her. Can I take her out horseback riding? And they were like, "Oh, it's a school night, you know." But yeah, I guess go ahead, take her horseback riding.
You know how late night horse riding is.
Yeah, of course, we all do. So turns out that B has a motorhome, and he drives her out, and ultimately stages their kidnapping.
Both of them.
He makes it look like both of them were taken,
Okay.
but ultimately he has kidnapped her.
Right.
Okay, that's what's happened. He has taken her away, and they went to Mexico. I don't know if it's still the same in Mexico or not, but the legal age of marriage there at the time was 12
Mexico. Okay.
in Mexico.
Okay.
So he was
Buongiorno.
going to hecho in Mexico, a little marriage between him and Jan.
Ay caramba.
I caramba indeed.
Arriba.
Andale.
Coca-Cola. Okay. So it wasn't a kidnapping in the sense of he just takes her and then
Right.
oh, you know, where
Yeah.
did she go? Like
Yeah.
he tried to make it look like they were both taken.
Yeah. Okay.
But then these phone calls start happening where it says Jan didn't grasp much of this right away. She was dealing with a bigger issue. Get this. This is one of the craziest things ever, how demented this guy was. While she was with B, she was brainwashed via a tape recorder and given a mission. He would drug her, and he played this tape. He made an audio recording, and he would play this recorder next to her in bed and make it sound like he was an alien, that she was being given a mission, and if she didn't get impregnated with B's child, her whole family would be killed.
Okay. My question is, did they play some of the?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Dude, this is some like horror
freaking
movie.
Can you play
Weird.
any of it? Because
I don't want to listen to it.
No, I really want to hear with the alien voice. I'm really concerned.
Okay, yeah, we
I'm
can,
really
we can pull it up on
concerned about the alien
Netflix.
voice.
Log in. Okay, so just to be clear, I went back. I just showed you the part where he's confessing to the jerk off, and it wasn't that he said I misunderstood.
Yeah,
he said this is just kid stuff. I need relief because he was saying he hated his wife.
Yeah, because he's not sexually satisfied with.
So
his
Gail,
wife.
his wife, wasn't doing it for him.
Yeah.
He needed Bob Broberg to handle it for him. Okay,
and Bob handled it real good.
So when he said it's just kid stuff, in my head I was thinking he was talking about being attracted to kids.
Well,
stuff.
you were traumatized.
I was traumatized. All right. So here's the alien voice that this thing.
My wrists and my ankles both had straps around them. I couldn't move. This monotone voice kept talking in my ear. It looked like a little white intercom-looking box that I could see to the side of my pillow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's freaky.
Thought I'd been kidnapped by a UFO.
She's thinking that the real enemy is a UFO.
Yeah, that she's about to be abducted or has been abducted, basically. Like something's going on. There's an alien being that's...
What went through this dude's mind to come up with this?
Yeah. So Jan was told that she was supposed to have an alien race by having a child with Berchtold. She needed to do this by age 16, or one of her sisters would have to do it, or her family members would go blind or die, fearing for her life, her sister's life, and the livelihood of this fake alien race. Jan and Berchtold have sex.
At 12?
She's 12.
Okay.
Eventually, Berchtold wanted to return back to the States, but needed the Broberg family to agree to the marriage. So she's gone like 90-some days, something like that. The FBI's involved trying to find them, this whole 9 yards.
Oh, my God.
But
how
they
the hell
get
does he live for 90 days? Like, I'm just
in
wondering.
this trailer. It's like a RV that he took to Mexico. So the Broberg family did not agree and instead flew to Mexico, and the federales get involved to go in, get her.
So how do they find out that...
he called because they wanted to come home. So they needed the permission for them to be married,
his marriage,
to get back across the border. Okay. Yeah, he's basically had her for months, indoctrinating her with this alien tape, drugging her, and having sex with her repeatedly.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Now, do we know if he was actually drugging her and having sex?
Yeah, she says she describes him having sex with her.
No. I mean, was he always drugging her, or did
I don't know
at
that he
some
was always
point,
doing it?
Because I'm not saying that's. I'm just saying, like, at some point it's even more traumatic in that way, like where he probably felt at some point comfortable enough that he didn't even have to.
She describes
drug her
a whole, the air vent at the top of the RV that pops open, like the little bubble. She says she describes just focusing. There was like this set of leaves on a tree hanging. She says she would just focus on that when he was molesting her and just think, like, that's all I got to do is just focus on the leaves.
Did she want to cry?
Yeah, but did she not? At 12, did she know enough to know that this was not the right thing, or did at this point, like, she didn't? Now, because I could imagine if she were quote unquote in love with him at 12 and wanted to have sex with him or whatever,
she does fall in love with him.
Oh, okay. So this gets even crazier then.
Yes,
but at this point, we know that she's right now not doing it because she loves him, but because she feels like she needs to do this because of this alien persona that's happening.
Yes.
Okay.
What? That's she kind of like that's what he converts her with, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Jan, confused and clearly not thinking. So here's what happens.
And 12
court-wise. Okay. So he gets federally charged with kidnapping, like as you would think the FBI would do.
Yeah.
But the wife of Berchtold gets a hold of the Broberg family and is like, "Hey, listen, we need to do something about this, or everything's gonna come out. About man sex and he can't do this. He's sick. Blah blah blah." So it says this: Berchtold was up on kidnapping charges. His wife Gail used the affair.
That they're doing that.
That's how
she knows gay sex.
She knows.
So she knows now. Just the
used
wife
the
knows.
affair information to blackmail the Brobergs into lessening the charges. So basically,
I wonder if this is how Bob's wife finds out.
They submit written statements like, "No, we were we made a mistake. We told him he could take her. We didn't realize he was going to go that long, but we think there was a miscommunication, you know, blah, blah, blah. So they were saving their own butts, basically. But that it was
and
later
not doing what was best for the welfare
So
of
his
the child.
charges, all they could get with no witnesses was 45-day sentence. He served 10 days.
Wow. Okay.
10 days. That's the first kidnapping.
That guy needs to die.
Wow.
So
Is he dead now?
Don't do this for me. We'll find out, I'm sure.
then, so
want him
Jan
dead.
is back home. Now she's writing letters and permitted to exchange letters with B. The parents are
Okay.
still letting this go on. She's expressing she's in love with him. She wants to marry him.
Yeah, because now they're scared of the repercussions.
They're screwed. It would come out. It would embarrass them for their church,
And it's
for
just gonna
everybody,
get
or
worse
their
and worse
community.
and worse.
He's a florist, has this successful florist business in town, you know, that kind of a thing, and he would have been exposed. So they allow this to keep happening
Florist
with their
and
daughter.
he's gay? Coincidence? I think not.
I'd
So,
like to own a florist business.
Literally, he
I'm
wants
gay, happy.
B doesn't come back to town. He's there for church on the weekends, but he's in Wyoming and buys and runs some like entertainment place, like, you know, where you would go rent rafts and ride around or whatever. I don't know, some amusement type
Okay.
place. And Jan wants to go there for the summer. And
Why
she
not?
starts pitching a fit that she can't go. You know, she loves B, and B calls and talks to Marianne Broberg and is like, hey, you should just let her go because she's just going to go out and hitchhike and get here, and it's going to be safer if you just send her here.
Yeah.
So
totally right.
Marianne Broberg puts Jan on a plane to Wyoming and sends him there, you know, for a little bit in the summertime to
Okay.
be with B.
Now, what's going on with Marianne? Has she been with B yet?
Not quite yet.
So this gets worse and worse.
But
Because I could even understand if the timing was different for everything here. Like, you'd be like, God, this is a twisted story, but
Yeah.
but it would fall into place. This isn't even falling into place. It's so twisted.
no.
Like,
So this goes on, this whole, like, I really love him, I want to marry him kind of a thing.
Ruined my entire night.
Goes on. Sorry. So Jan is kidnapped again. Okay, here's another thing.
Of course.
Later in the summer of 76, Jan runs away from home, leaving both her family and Berchtold distraught. Supposedly, Berchtold now, as it turns out,
B. Okay.
she climbs out a window, he takes her. Okay? Berchtold tells everybody he has no idea where Jan is. What he really did was drove her to Pasadena and put her in a Catholic girls' school and said he was a member of the CIA and that they were on the run and they had to take her in because he was a CIA agent, and entered her name as Janice something, some other name. What? Exactly. How?
I like to think that they
Welcome
call her
to the
Janis
70s.
Joplin.
This-
Okay. So the best is it's what a Wild West kind of like. So the Covenant's not even like the least bit concerned over this. They're like, well, the guy seems pretty legit. So
Did say he was with the CIA.
he said it. So
That sounds pretty serious.
oh my god. Okay, so
So
all
yeah.
right.
However, the FBI was convinced that Berchtold knew where she was. Well, good idea, because he did. So later in November that year, it came to light that Berchtold had kidnapped Jan back in August, right? Now living in Salt Lake City, had enrolled her in an all-girl Catholic school in California. I told you guys that. So, and he told the school, if anybody comes looking or asking, they're the bad guys. Don't give any information. Okay.
They're the bad guys.
They're the bad guys. They're the Russians.
The FBI contacted the school, but they were reluctant to disclose Jan's information, assuming that what B
they're
had told them was
Cuba.
true. The FBI was able to get Jan out of the school and brought her back
in
home.
the 70s just like stupid?
Well, over there they were.
In that process,
What? Like, I don't...
get this. In that process, while she's gone, Marianne and B are talking all the time about if either of them had heard from Jan. And B is super concerned and invites Marianne over to his trailer. Oh,
There's
and
a lot,
then
there's a lot that happens in this
he
trailer.
tells Marianne about how much he loves her, And then she describes, well, his hands started touching my thigh and then my breasts, and then we had intercourse in his trailer. And so that goes on while Jan is at this all-girls school, randomly getting visits from B to have sex with Jan.
My God.
He's also sleeping with Jan's mom, Marianne.
And getting handies from...
Which weirdly makes sense because Marianne is obviously not getting it from Bob because Bob's gay.
Because Bob is as gay as, like, his flagpole only goes to full mast when a dude is around.
Yeah, obviously.
Clearly.
So we have... Oh, my gosh. Okay, so let's keep going.
So while Jan is kidnapped, literally, keep in mind, in the mind of Marianne and Bob Broberg, their daughter is kidnapped and in danger. And B is saying, well, I've talked to her sometimes. I think she's basically whoring herself out. She's not with me, but she's living a dangerous life.
Oh, my God.
And so he's commiserating with them all the while he's put her in this school and is keeping her away from them.
Yeah. How often is he visiting her?
I don't know.
Okay.
Jan says that all in all, they probably had at least 200 sexual encounters.
Is that all? Okay.
That's it.
That's not technically that's not even one per day for an entire year.
Yeah, not a big
deal. So that's hardly anything.
So FBI gets Jan out of the school, brings her back. Jan doesn't want anything to do with the family. They describe she walks right to her room. She hates them because she wants to be with B. That's what she wants.
Right.
Okay? She's completely brainwashed at this point.
Imagine completely ruining a kid's life.
So then she gets home, and all of a sudden, somebody's at the door. They're getting a call, whatever. The flower shop has been burned and is burning to the ground. They watch their family business burn to the ground because in the 10 days or whatever, he goes back to jail. He's charged with kidnapping. So maybe it wasn't the first time, it was the second time. He's in jail. He convinces two guys when they get out to burn the place down, and he was going to pay him $1,000 to do it.
Right.
So they burn the florist shop down.
And
so
what the hell was this for?
Because they took Jan away from him.
Okay.
So he's brought to trial again for first-degree kidnapping, but not convicted. Instead, because he was judged not mentally, stable or capable or whatever. And
how did that happen?
He is sentenced to a mental facility in 1977. Released 6 months later.
Okay. Marianne may have been happy about that.
So, Jan is coming up on her 16th birthday. And remember that the aliens told her that if this wasn't done by the 16th birthday, if she didn't have a baby by the time she was 16, her family is going to go blind or die, and her mission would be a failure.
My question is, who is she telling this to? Has she told anybody
Nobody
this?
Yet. She hasn't told anybody about the mission yet.
Oh, my gosh. Because he probably brainwashed her. If you say anything.
So she is thinking about this. So she wanted to go to a summer camp. So the parents reluctantly send her to this drama summer camp for 3 weeks. And while she's there, she concocts this plan, as she describes it, to be like, get a gun and kill her sister. Okay, she concocted a plan to carry out the rest of the mission herself, in which she'll kill herself and Karen. Eventually, she describes this moment where she has like 3 seconds where she starts to think, what if this isn't true?
Okay.
And she tells it to somebody who says, you've got to tell your parents. So she tells them about this concocted story, and her 16th birthday comes and goes, and everything's fine, and she realizes she's open to the idea that she was lied to because it never happened.
Because something so very real to her.
Yes. So
that's insane.
Marianne had filed for divorce from Bob.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because Bob sent. I'm sorry, I definitely said that wrong. Bob files for divorce because Marianne had cheated with B, and whatever. And he was the bishop.
Talk about a guy with a problem.
It's a little bit of a double standard.
That guy still to this day won't admit his own truth that he's gay, right?
No, he won't admit that.
Obviously, because he thought like it was easier for him to divorce his wife for cheating on him than for him to just be a gay guy. Well, especially back then, I suppose, and accept that that he's gay.
Right. Whatever.
So wow. Okay.
he had divorced her because the bishop of the LDS at the time that he was answering to at church said, you got to do something with her. And so he divorces her.
How long was Mary and B?
9 months.
They were having okay.
Yes. They were. She would visit him every so often and back and forth, like for 9 months, I think. So after the 16th birthday, or it also kind of like along those times, like Marianne had come back and thrown B out of her life, and they described like she comes into the kitchen and says, I'm putting him out of my life. I need to be back here for our kids. They need both of us. And Bob says she fell into my arms. That was enough for me. And off we were as a big happy family again. Now B is in a mental facility, and ultimately Marianne writes a book. She says she starts writing it in the 90s. It's called Stolen Innocence, the Jan Broberg story. And then Marianne and Jan go on a speaking tour in like 2003, and they start, making people aware of child predators or whatever.
Oh my God.
And eventually B shows up to one of the speaking gigs. Okay?
Okay, yeah. I'm trying to breathe here.
Her security was Bikers Against Child Abuse.
Oh.
He pulls up, and they're like, that's B. So they're like, get him. These bikers are going to get him. And one of the bikers jumps on B's van and holds on. He hits the brakes, falls off, runs the guy over. He's injured. They finally catch up to B. It turns out he's got a gun in the car. He goes to jail again, and he ultimately kills himself with his heart medication and drinking a bunch of stuff, and he commits suicide. Good. But not before Jan had gotten a lifelong restraining order against him. Now, guys that are listening to this, my timeline is going to be. Yeah, I watched this once, so I haven't read my notes that much here. I've been kind of just recounting the story. So now Jan is at the end of the documentary basically saying like, yeah, I mean, we were all victims. My parent, like her parent, all the kids just sing the parents' praises. And what I'm left of this documentary going, no, Jan, you're still duped. You were duped by B, and you are still to this day being abused by your parents.
Yeah.
These parents need to be, I put on social media yesterday, these parents need to be publicly hanged. They are vile, disgusting human beings. They were not manipulated. They were complicit in the manipulation. They need to be strung up, and I would put a bullet in Bob Broberg's head right now and not feel an ounce of guilt about doing it.
Boy, I tell you what,
it's a powerful statement.
It is a powerful statement. I don't care. I mean it.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Dude. And I asked Sherry, I said, like, listen, I turned to her at the end of this, I go, listen, anybody ever did something to my daughter, my daughters, whatever. I said, that ever happened? Are you okay? I just want to know right now, are you okay with just visiting me in prison? She said, yep. And I'm like, because I'm telling you, I wouldn't call the cops. I would grab them. I would restrain them. I would torture them. Then I would kill them. And then I would just turn myself in and go do my time. Because I'll tell you right now, that's just exactly what would happen. You can come say hello in prison. I'm okay with it. I've known my kids long enough. I love them. And God bless America. I just do my time in jail.
God bless America. That is a bold statement.
Somebody's like, what if a defense attorney saw this tweet? I'm like, I don't care.
You don't care.
Don't care.
True. You do not care.
Put me in front of a jury of fathers.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I think the problem too is that these people
not guilty.
You better hope the fathers aren't all Bobs.
Yeah. Bunch of
Bobs doesn't want to see any vagines. He only wants Bobs. Wait, no, he wants Johnson's.
Bob's,
He wants the junk.
Jeez, oh, Pete.
You all right over there, bro?
Wow.
I'm sick.
That sounded
the way
wet.
I look at it is this. Yeah, it did sound wet and wispy.
Bacterial.
It's weird because the daughter, Jan, how old is she now then? Probably in her...
Oh, she was
40s,
12 and like 74 or something like that. So, I mean,
okay.
Whatever that
so
makes
she's in her
now.
50s probably. But so it's just weird to me because she's you're right. There's a lot that happened, which is probably maybe even more drastic behind the scenes.
That's what she looks
things
like.
That we haven't.
Can you guys see it?
No, I can't see it.
No.
But things that we aren't even privy to, right? Whatever was going on, either with a case or whatever. But to think that but to think that your mother and your father who put you through that, if you put yourself in that position, would you consider yourself a victim of that as well? Meaning, if Jan here was Bob or Jan here was Marianne and did the same thing to her children, would she say, yeah, no, I still think it's okay. Because I can't see that. I can't see any human being thinking that.
No,
no, we're all victims.
I think that Jan was at a young age manipulated by every adult in her life. That was like her parents and B.
Right.
I think she's just jacked up. I feel all the empathy in the world for Jan.
So wait, which one's Jan? This chick?
It looks like the one on the left there.
Yeah,
that's
Jan.
That's her. I bet you anything that's Jan. It looks like her from there. So like the smile. I guess I just look at it like these. So obviously,
anybody that's on social media that's out there saying like, I can't believe her parents were that naive. Guys, they weren't naive. They were complicit in this. They were saving their own asses, and it's disgusting.
Well, this is what, and I think this is what happened. If you're trying to like break it down, right? So Bob, who's obviously homosexual, wants to have a sexual relationship with B. Obviously, him and Marianne. If he's gay, obviously it's not going to work between them as far as sexually. She's frustrated. They find out that after she gets kidnapped or whatever, I'm just going to bring this to light, right? Now, all of a sudden, B's wife, I'm going to bring this to light. Everybody's going to know. Well, now, that's where the problem is now they're complicit. They're saying, we have to protect our ass. So anything that happens from this point on is just going to have to be something we bury deep down.
Even before that, to let your kid to buy into this therapy thing where this grown man needs to sleep with your child. That's not naivety.
Again, close. I'm not debating that. So I like I said, it's not that I have a. I'm just saying I think it got worse. It went past the point of no return. I think a long time ago, but meaning like once they thought that they were going to get in trouble,
right?
They didn't give a crap about anybody else. Matter of fact, so much that they were willing to sacrifice their 12-year-old daughter, her innocence,
to save themselves,
just to save themselves, and that's it. And that Marianne was so deprived of any kind of relationship because Bob couldn't even be true to his own gayness. Seriously,
right?
That he married a woman, made her miserable, so miserable that she's messed up in the head and has sex with a freaking predator. A predator! Yeah. And I'm not talking about like the Arnold Schwarzenegger kind.
No.
That would have been less detrimental. Thanks for screwing me up. I don't even know what to do with my life now.
Does it make you want to rage?
Against the machine.
Crazy talk, guys.
Against the machine.
Am I taking crazy pills here? That's what I was like watching the show. Am I taking crazy pills?
It's wow. You cannot make that up. That is wow. Yep. Stranger than fiction, right?
Oh, unbelievable.
Wow.
Woo.